misconceptions. We've got truth in our possession. No room for doubt, no time to waste. It's time to put flat earth in its place.
Welcome everybody to Tuesday night. It's not Tuesday, it's Wednesday, but this is MC Toon Live. I'm your host, MC Toon, and tonight I will be joining Kingdom in Context, a religious flat Earth channel. He does more than just flat Earth content, but he's big into flat Earth, so I think that's a big part of what he focuses on. His name is Sean Griffin, in case you're wondering. So he will be going live here in just under 15 minutes. So at 8 o'clock Central Time is the time that we start there. I'll be joining him in StreamYard in a little bit here. But if you're thinking about going over to his live chat, I will have his live chat up on the screen here. But if you're thinking about doing that, please be nice. You're a guest there. Let the flat earthers be the ones that we met last night, like Jamal. Don't us be those people, okay? So, yeah, you do what you want. So, anyway, not tomorrow. Today's Wednesday. A week from today, if you're interested and you live in the Minneapolis area, St. Louis Park, Dancing Ganesha, Indian restaurant, 6 p.m. on Wednesday, July 3rd. Everybody is invited and to come and enjoy some Indian food and some talk. So I've specifically invited a couple flat earthers as well. So if you are going, let me know somehow. So I'll let the restaurant have some idea of a rough number. So. Lord Illuminous Poo says, if you hit yourself and it hurts, are you strong or weak? I say stupid for hitting yourself. Yeah, good idea. Lord Illuminous Poo also said, I got time saved. I should take a nice traycation. CJ Lamoureux is a new member at Buzz Aldrin level. Thank you very much, CJ. And Alexander L says, I checked out his channel and I got nausea. I haven't looked at a whole lot over there, so I don't know if that's correct or not, but whatever. I will say that if you're interested, you can. I have to order mine still, but there you go. There's the Intergalactic Flurf Tears mug. I just love it. I have this one here, but it's a little hard to read. Right? Not enough contrast. So I'm thinking the white will be better. Anyway. I'll give you the link for that. That's, there it is. I mean, if you search for Fourth Wall MC Toon, you'll find it. So anyway. What else? Max says, so cool this is happening. Will the guy from the video that came up go? So the guy I'm talking to, is he going to go to Antarctica? Is that what you're asking? Well, he hasn't, to my knowledge, stated that he is interested in going, and he is not on the top of the list to receive a free ticket to go. So my guess is he probably won't. I don't know why he wouldn't want to go find out the truth. Alexander L says, you're doing the Lord's work engaging these very bad people. I don't know how bad he is at this point, so I'll withhold that from him. We'll see how it goes. I've only watched a little bit of his interactions with Will Duffy. That's about it. So is he scared to go? I don't know if he's scared to go, right? If you're given a free ticket and you turn it down for not a good reason, well, then you might be able to say that. It's interesting, though, that there are no flat earthers that are doing any crowdfunding to do it. So it would be really cool if they actually wanted to do that, right? I would go and donate to that. So, all right, I'm going to join the studio there. And so you get to see a little of the behind the scenes of making of the sausage here. So, also while I'm talking to him, I won't be interacting here. I'll read super chats after, so you can stick around, and I'll talk with you after. I'm just going to focus on him. He invited me to come to his channel, so I'll focus on that. But I will have his live chat up on screen, and I'll show you what it looks like. Here it is. There's there's the two chats, and there's two of me. You'll probably see two of me the whole time. So, all right, here we go. All right, I'm backstage there. So, well, could be a little smug there, says Billy J36. Yeah, I saw that part. An interesting little part there that we'll see. I don't know. Maybe he'll ask me to do the same. I don't know. All right. Make sure the scene is set up well here. There you go. Little shift. Okay. Alexander L says the flat earthers know that there will be a 24-hour sun. Oh, yeah. Hey, know it. They know it. They are doing damage control right now. They're doing damage control ahead of time. And here's what a true truth seeker, an actual truth seeker would do. They would come and they would say, okay, well, let's consider what types of things might be seen. Might be seen that there's a 24-hour sun circling overhead. Hey, that confirms the globe, and that falsifies flat Earth. It might be that that something else is seen, right? Something that confirms flat Earth. Awesome, flat Earth is confirmed. It might be that the globe is confirmed, but they still want to seek out some different answer. Well, do it now. You should do that right now. You know what I'm not doing right now? I'm not putting together excuses in case the globe is falsified. I'm not doing that. I don't see any globers that are scurrying around saying, "Oh no, what do we do? What do we do if that happens?" You know what we do if that happens? We embrace it, right? And what do we do if the globe is confirmed? We embrace it, right? We go head on and we look at the evidence and we let the evidence lead. We don't start with a conclusion and then insist that the pre-selected conclusion matches somehow. So, which is what so far it looks like the flat earthers have been trying to do. They're scrambling. They're saying, well, it could be this. It could be this. It could be, well, no, it can't be those things. You're not, right? But fine, go ahead, propose them and then say, well, how would you test for that, right? What if it is a reflection off the firmament? Okay, what would it look like and how could you test for that, right? If it goes around behind you and you want to hypothesize that it's a reflection, how do you test that? Well, one way you test that is you look to see if it's reflected, if it's horizontally reversed. Another is you look to see, what other excuses have they come up with? Coffee cup caustic. Well, if you see two suns, oh, well, that doesn't work, right? If you see one north and one south, that would be, but that's still the same thing. It's just a reflection. So, yeah, caustic matches perfect. So, all right. Still 5 minutes to go. He did enable streaming to his audience, or streaming to my StreamYard. So we're using StreamYard. But I prefer OBS. I had everything set up here for OBS, and I'm like, I'll just stick with OBS. So I've done StreamYard into OBS before, so it's nothing really new. So String News 1 says, last weekend I went to a party, met a guy who was in Antarctica in the 60s and saw the 24-hour sun. Man. I've seen people talk about a sun simulator. Like, there's a patent for a sun simulator. Have you looked at the patent, people? It's it's not something that would maintain the same angular size as the sun and output the same amount of light and heat and radiation as the sun. None of that at all. It's they called it an artificial sun, but that doesn't make it an artificial sun. Plus, it's a patent, not an actual device. A lot of people who've never worked on patents don't know that just because you have an idea patented doesn't mean that idea exists in reality. It just means that you thought of it, you documented that you thought of it, and if anybody uses your idea, you get to come back to them and say, hey, that's my idea. You need to make an arrangement with me. So, CJ Lamoureux says, with the member super chat, says, I don't think they'll embrace it at all. Flatties will come up with some other false claim, and a stupid false claim at that. Of course, that is a very likely possibility. I suspect there will be some that say, okay, that's it. But this I think not as much as of a tool for like the existing flatties, right? What it will do is it will destroy their their flat earth evangelism. Right, because that's what they do. It's a religious topic. It's a religious position. They don't have, you watch them. You say, well, explain this for flat Earth. Oh, they can't. What time will the sun set? Don't know. Well, what will the path of the eclipse be? Don't know. How high is the sun? Don't know. What's the sun made of? Don't know. Right, the whole list of things is all answered with don't know. Right, that they'll come up. They like to toss out some word salad for all these things. But in the end, none of it is anything other than just an idea that they had. So, Cygnus Step said Smo could be funny. Yeah, it's been, let's see, when did I last talk to Smo? It was February, I think. February, March. Yeah, he was driving home in a snowstorm in a town where there wasn't a snowstorm. Love it. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Scott Harwell says Griffin expect Griffin to use verses where the earth is unmoved, yet ignore the verses where the righteous are unmoved and the earth is moved. Sean does not know any Hebrew. It doesn't matter. It's just his opinion. That's all it is. In the end, it's just an opinion. So, yeah, Billy, dude, he's calling you a heliocentric apologist in his stream title. Yeah. You mean a normal person that has a good education? Okay, that's fine. Zoomy says Smo is still driving home, stuck in that same snowstorm. Yes. In case you didn't get it, Smo is a Poe. but he's a fun one, right? I don't like taking fake, debating Poes that are not serious, right? That are actually like trying to hide that they're, but if they're like just kind of doing it for comedy, I'm in. I'm good with it. So. Charlie Welsh says, do you think if all debunkers took a month off, if their channels would survive maybe 2 months? Who, the Flatties channels? Yeah. So Charlie, they grew like weeds in, unchecked in 2016, 2017, when there really weren't debunkers out there. So, is it us that's keeping them alive? I don't think so, but, I don't know. That's an interesting idea to think about. I doubt it. So, all right. Well, here we are. I don't know where. So he's not on his yet, and I'll check to see if his live stream is going. It's not yet. So Well, we'll see when he goes. Mallory's funny, yeah. She's pretty. And when was she last on? It might be enough. It might be time. I like it when other people go to her and say, "Hey, Mallory, it's time to get on MC Tunes," because I don't know, she's like, she's a little flaky sometimes. Part of her what's so endearing, I suppose. Diver Dan Navy Vet says big respect and salutes to MC Tune for your support for veterans. You're a mensch, in my humble opinion, sir. And mensch, I think is that Yiddish for some positive thing. Thank you for that. Yeah, I never served, but yeah, a lot of family members did. So I respect that. I respect them, and tough. Some people came back with some really challenging scars that were more than physical. So, all right. Well, wherever Sean is, that's fine. Lord Luminous Pooh says opinions are like buttholes. Everyone has one, and they're all itchy and oozing. No, hey, that's just you. Icy Spin says science is about disproving ideas. Flurfs don't get it. Yeah, it is. It's the one thing that science can really do well, right? It's the not the one thing, but like it's what it excels at. But yeah, so like there is a possibility to find positive supporting evidence for things. I mean, Popper didn't think so, but Popper kind of took everything to an extreme level. So it's not really practical Popperism, Popperianism. I don't know what you call it. But yeah, if you have a hypothesis and your test matches the hypothesis, well, that's supporting evidence. But it's not proof of anything because there's any number of other ways that you could come about something. So Rodman says, I'm supporting Globey McGlobeface GoFundMe. It's at 4,850. I'm sending in $50 a month for 6 months. Will some of you help me get Globey there? That's a good idea. I like that. Sending some every month. I sent $80 already. I meant to do 40, and then I did another 40. It was an accident, seriously. But I'm like, take it. Yeah, it's $31,000 is what Globey McGlobeface is needing to raise. So if anybody wants to help Globey, that would be a good idea. So it's I have a video on my channel, on my Conspiracy Tunes channel, where you can find the link to Globey, his GoFundMe, or you can go to TikTok and search for Globey McGlobeface. You'll find him there. So, all right. Sean just mentioned is in his live chat that we're starting shortly. He said so. All good. Icy Spin says science. Oh, I already read that. Science is about disproving. Jolene upgraded membership to Buzz Aldrin. Thank you very much, Jolene. I appreciate it. And Lord Illuminous Pooh says, I often have to catch back up to the stream because when I get in a good reaction from fight or two and I have to back up and watch them laugh again. That's good. Let's see. Icy Spin says, should the we guess short show the we guess short from Finneman? I don't know what you're talking about. And the George says, I can't afford a super chat today, but titty caca. Thank you very much, George. So, all right. You know what I did? I tightened the screws on this. The way it works is, so it's hard to turn. So you pop off these here, and then, oh, come on. I'm holding it up so it's a little, right? So you tighten the screws, and I tightened them too much. I'm not going to loosen them right now, but some of them turn a little difficult. Plus, it's not been, there isn't any like lubrication on it. So anyway, I thought I'd do this while we're waiting, and then watch to see that NANA just gifted right there. Where? There it is. Look at that. NANA. Thank you. Gifted 5 memberships. All right. I don't think this is impressive. It's memorizing patterns, and I only remember them because I do them often. Oh, he's starting. He got me off guard. I
Hey, welcome. We're
hey,
still
hey
we're
there.
still backstage on mine.
All right, yeah, I'm live on mine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Say hi. Welcome you.
yeah. For some reason,
Right.
there was a noise that scared me.
I will put us back in the studio and then I'll start the show.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks.
I was muted talking to him. So, but for the last part, I said I unmuted. So anyway, Alexander L says, "Beware the anti-Semitism," but that should be expected. It's too common. But if you watch the Veritas documentary, he has a hypothesis for why. All right, it's like we're coming soon here. And you see his live chat there too. So, all right. He's adding his things, it looks like. But I'm still backstage. He can't hear me, but I still muted myself just in case. So, all right, let me finish this here. Yeah, so the anti-Semitism part in the Veritas documentary was on point. I don't know. It's a hypothesis, right? I don't know how true it is, but it's troubling that so there's got to be some overarching multi-generational. Oh Christ, breaky. I screwed up. What'd I do? I wasn't thinking. All right, well, I messed it up. All right. Some multi-generational thing that's been going on for centuries, group of people that are in control of everything. I don't know how those people that they accuse of being in charge of things were in charge of things back 500 BC, telling the Greeks what to do. To my knowledge, they weren't really bossing the Greeks around at the time. So whatever. All right, looks like he's getting up his opinion verses there. I say opinion because can you take it literally? He wants to. So. All right. I don't mind that he's a little late, but so. Meraki says Sean looks like Elon Musk's little brother. Yeah. So think about this. How could the Jews that they like to accuse? How could the Jews have told Pythagoras that he needs to go propose the Earth is a globe? How could the Jews have controlled Aristarchus and Aristotle? Okay, sorry, I had to mute that. So his intro mute is all flat earthy. Wow, it's just flat earthy. That's all it is. Okay. Oh, the Enoch study guide. All right. So many interpretations. A color-coded comprehension. Wow. I wonder if he's like, is this his or is it somebody else's? Oh, it's looping on mine. Oh, all right. There we go. All right. I heard a looping, but it wasn't fed out. So, all right. Feynman lectures. Icy Spin says yes. Feynman lecture in science. We guess. Sure. Yes. Yeah. How do we know? We guess. Okay. Well, here we go.
All right, now I'm off mute. Hello and welcome to Kingdom in Context. I'm Sean. I want to thank you guys for joining us here tonight. Thank you to all of our admins that are here. Thanks for keeping the live chat fun and civil. As always, we try not to block people permanently. Just put them on mute if they start accusing you, slandering you, acting a fool. can't control themselves. We welcome disagreement, but we don't welcome ugliness, right? So people that want to accuse, slander, just act like a child, you can mute them and maybe they'll come back tomorrow with a better attitude, but do not block them permanently. Thank you. So thank you guys for being here tonight. We're going to have a guest on our channel we've never had before. This is Michael Toon. He's going to be coming on to talk to us about his stance on biblical cosmology, or his disagreement therein, I should say. But if you haven't already seen, guys, you can check us out on Lighthouse. This is where we upload exclusive content that we don't upload to YouTube. It's a new platform that is better. It's the best of Facebook, YouTube, and even Etsy combined. So you can check us out if you want to join. We removed our options to join our YouTube channel, and we're encouraging folks because it's better, for us. They don't take 30% like YouTube does. You can check us out and join to support us over on Lighthouse. So you guys, we appreciate everybody who's already joining. We thank you so much for that. And check your messages on Lighthouse, because to fulfill some of these benefits, I've been trying to reach out and contact you. Okay, without further ado, let's bring our guest in. And if I can get this going here. Michael, welcome.
Hello.
Hello, hello, welcome.
Is my audio coming through fine?
Your audio's coming through well. Yep, I can hear you.
Great.
Just try to adjust this real quick. I'll adjust our little screens real quick if possible. Okay. Yeah, it still doesn't look the best. 1 second.
Okay.
It's, for some reason, StreamYard got rid of the normal layouts.
Ah,
Here we go. Here we go. We'll get it together. Boom. Okay. Welcome. Welcome, Michael. And is it okay if I call you Michael? Is that what you prefer?
sure.
Okay. Well, I'm Sean. Have you ever seen what we do or what we talk about previously?
Only little. I saw back in April, particularly when you were talking with Will. I was I was actually camping in Colorado and listening while I was working around the camper, setting stuff up. While you were talking
did you go to like Breckenridge area, or did you just go?
Went to Will's church, spoke at his church. And we went.
I meant to go camping.
Oh,
I know his church is in Wheat Ridge, but
yeah, no, we found a hip camp that was a little bit north of Denver.
cool.
So yeah, we had a view of the mountain, which in Minnesota, all that you see is the trees that are 20 feet away, and that's it.
That's right. That's right. That's so funny because of the nature of what we're going to talk about tonight. Because I grew up mostly in Oklahoma, which had the same perspective
Yeah.
as Minnesota, right? And so my parents, whenever we'd hit a long stretch where you could see throughout the fields, there's no mountains, of course, but I remember asking my father as a kid driving, how far away are those clouds on the horizon? He would say, oh, it's about 20 miles. I think that's the limit of what we can see. Which I never processed as a kid. I never thought to challenge that or test that, but it's an interesting conversation. So, yeah, I want to bring you on. Will was saying this. Will was saying that you are a Christian, and I think you went to his church and gave a presentation. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so this is just a few seconds from my interaction with Will, just to catch the audience up on me reaching out to you and saying, hey, I'd like to have you on to talk about biblical cosmology. So is McToon a Christian? He believes the Bible's the inspired word of God?
Absolutely.
Okay. Interesting. So then he would have to research the definitions of the word firmaments.
By the way, it's MC Tune.
Right. Okay. So for everyone out there, it's not McToon. I had it wrong. It's MC Tune. And of course, his actual name is Michael, which I'm guessing is where you get the MC.
Yes.
Unless you're just master of ceremonies. If you're
No, it's totally from MC Hammer and
Okay.
Fake rap group that I was in. We were terrible.
You still got the Hammer
It was
pants?
a joke. I never had them. I had a size, I still do. a size 60 jeans that I bought at a hardware store to go golfing in, and I had to make I used a metal hoop to make them
about
stick
to say.
out, and I made straps over my shoulders out of phone cord.
All right, because your
Classy.
belt was saying you can't touch this, so you had to improvise. I get it.
Yeah.
All right, that's my dad joke for the night, guys. So basically, we want to jump into the biblical cosmology. Obviously, you know that I teach that on my channel. I know that you have a very unfavorable view, and probably to say it like that is probably mild. You have a very vehemently disagreeing view of biblical cosmology. You don't think the Bible teaches that. You are in favor of a globular Earth, not a not a perfect sphere. I'm guessing you agree with the mainstream narrative where they believe it's a sphere that has a little bit extra bulge at the center of the equator.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's your stance, is that we live in a heliocentric model on a slightly pear-shaped. I always thought was a horrible description, because it's not generally accurate.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
such a minor amount south of the equator that it certainly let a lot of people that didn't actually do any investigation think the wrong thing.
Right, which we can blame Neil deGrasse Tyson for his descriptions of the pear-shaped Earth, right? But you've said on your channel in the past that it's actually the radius value is about 20 miles difference from the radius from the center to the equator versus the center to the pole, the North Pole. Is that correct?
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to make sure I'm accurately representing your view for the audience. Don't want to straw man you here. And more than anything, I just want to say how, you're welcome to share with my audience, since most, 99% of my audience are believers. They believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, that he died for our sins, that we put our faith and disciple after him, and therefore we expect eternal life at the resurrection, which is the second coming of Christ. Just to give a super short nutshell theology there. But so you're welcome to share with the audience, when did you come to faith in Christ?
I was a kid at a camp, just a church camp.
Yeah.
I've
been to
elementary school. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I never paid attention though. I didn't give my heart to Christ until I was like 17. So all the church camps I went to before that, I just figured out ways to sleep or not pay attention. But so since then, did you pursue that, or did you just go into mainstream work? Did you pursue your
what?
faith, as in like go to seminary or Bible college?
No. I did volunteer lay ministry for years.
Okay.
But
Never worked at a church though, or anything like that?
no.
Okay. I mean, the most Christians haven't. There's only a small majority of Christians, small percentage of Christians that actually work at a church or are part of a pastoral team of any kind. So I did go to Bible school, and the Bible school that I went to was they had no concept of biblical cosmology. So they didn't, when we talked about Genesis 1 in Bible school, they didn't even think to talk about what is this firmament thing they just read. They just immediately translated it as, oh, it must be the clouds. So I thought that was interesting. So what are your thoughts on the word firmament in Scripture?
I think it's well translated today as either expanse or sky.
Okay. Now, are you familiar that the Greek word stereoma is where they get the word expanse?
Don't care, really.
Okay. Well, it matters because they describe it as the stereoma in the Greek as a hard surface.
Yeah, but it wasn't written in Greek.
Well, it's translated by Greek scholars, by Hebrew-speaking Greek-speaking Hebrews, translated into the Greek. And Greek was the most dominant evangelized language from approximately 200 BC to 300 AD. We didn't have the Hebrew Masoretic until the 9th century AD. Just in case you've never learned that history, that church history there, because that does matter. Them understanding these concepts and how the Hebrews were commissioned to actually translate it into the Greek for the Septuagint. So, and that may come up later, because I'd love to ask you a little bit about the sun and your perspective and your thought on the sun and how the Bible describes the sun. I know you bring up First Enoch in many of your videos. You're obviously do not subscribe to First Enoch as being legitimately inspired, I'm guessing.
Nope.
Okay. So what do you define as, because Will said that you're a Christian and that you believe that the Bible is the inspired word of God. So what do you define as inspired word of God?
When it comes to the shape of the earth, it doesn't matter. We can just go look at what the shape of the earth is and then determine that independently. And then we can see whether or not somebody's interpretation of the Bible matches reality.
Okay. So even if the definitions of the words say there's a hard surfaced arch structure above us that encloses us.
If there was a holy book that very specifically said something that contradicted reality, that holy book is wrong.
Okay. So then your perception of reality at this point in your life is that, okay, well, let me back up a little bit then. So when you put your faith in Christ, does that mean that, because there's a lot of churches that teach this outright. I'm not trying to say this in a pejorative way. There's just a lot of churches that boldly and without any excuse will just say, we can interpret the Bible how we want.
That's what pretty much everybody says.
No, it shouldn't be, and it's not, but it shouldn't be either. Because the words have definitions. I mean, there was agreed upon definitions for thousands of years. And then you get about the 3rd, 4th century AD, and you've got a lot of philosophy that gets imposed into the Christian communities where they start reinterpreting things and arguing about it all the time. But we have lots of quotes from the prophets, from Christ, from the apostles, even from 1st and 2nd century, quote unquote, early church fathers, that they all had the same story, unanimously agreed upon the same definitions. So that's where, a lot of people like to say...
I think it's quite a stretch to say that a group of people had unanimous definitions.
That's my research.
Yeah. I think that's definitely a stretch. You can't find a group of 3 people that are unanimous on definitions.
It's not a stretch because it's my research. It's what's documented in history. A stretch would be me suspecting something that's not written down. And I'm just conjecturing, right? I'm not conjecturing. But we're not doing a deep dive into church history tonight. So we'll have to save that maybe for a second interview. But just to let you know, take it at face value. My research has found unequivocally there's no argumentation between the prophets to Christ to someone like Irenaeus, who they had a full, well-working, consistent definition for what they believed they lived inside of as far as the creation model, and that they believed there was multiple firmaments above them where the sun, moon, and stars were placed. And that's what's holding them in the sky and have circuits in the heaven for which they circle around over our heads. And so I'm guessing you disagree with that because you believe that we're spinning away from the sun, and that's why we see it set.
I don't think we're spinning away from the sun, but I would say that the people that had that opinion were wrong. It's empirically falsified, right? You can go test it yourself. So they're simply incorrect. I don't care how many people agree with it. That's an appeal to popularity if you say a bunch of people agreed with it.
No,
right?
It's an appeal to the almighty inspired word of God who gave to the prophets, who the same story that he offered his son to you for your resurrection and glorification unto eternal life.
Yeah, but that's your personal interpretation of it.
It's not. It's actually just the definition of the word.
It 100% is your personal interpretation of it. Because lots of other people who also have studied this and can have the same list of who can have the same list of credentials and can say the same types of things that they've studied, can say, no, Sean, we think it's something else. So it doesn't mean that you have the one true perfect interpretation of the Bible, Sean.
I'm not interpreting. I'm just repeating what the prophets.
So you don't interpret. Hold on. You don't interpret the Bible.
I'm not interpreting it. I'm providing the definitions
strictly literally.
Historically are documented and used by the prophets, the Messiah, and early church fathers.
Okay, but you don't actually believe in the Bible literally.
Oh, I do.
Okay, then why
you would call me a literalist?
Then why are you violating Leviticus 19, 27, and 28?
You have to research the word marred. The word marred, it was a practice that they did for the Canaanite god Oratol, which was specifically just like it has right next to it about cutting yourself for the dead or putting tattoos on for the dead.
Yeah, cutting your hair.
The marring, I'm going to answer you. The marring of your beard was specifically a specific type of marring the beard in honor of a god. It has nothing to do with whether you can shave or not.
But Hasidic Jews disagree with you on that.
Well, Hasidic Jews rejected Christ and they rejected the prophets too.
Okay, so everybody that you don't like is wrong. Right. If they don't agree with your personal interpretation of it, they're wrong.
No, I'm saying the Hasidic Jews.
How are you the one with so much pride and hubris that your interpretation is the only one that's correct?
Well, just
that's a lot of pride.
We'll ignore that. But let's go to your First Enoch disagreements. Because did you know that I actually wrote a commentary on First Enoch?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I did. And you said this in one of your recent shows about First Enoch.
There you go. And flat earthers, if you pretend that you're a biblical cosmology flurf and you've ever mentioned the book of Enoch, well, you disagree with biblical cosmology, because biblical cosmology says that there's portals, tunnels that go underneath the earth that the sun goes through at nighttime. That's biblical cosmology. You don't think that's what happens? Then you don't agree with biblical cosmology. Think about that. A literalist, somebody that reads the Bible and says, this is literal. Well, then and you have to also take Enoch in, which most people don't do. But for some reason, the flat earthers, they just love the book of Enoch. What you don't agree with it. You're not a flat earth, or you're not a Bible literalist if you don't think that the sun goes through actual portals. If you think it's figurative, then you're not a Bible literalist, biblical cosmology follower. You disagree with it. So there you go.
Yeah. So you definitely have
you're not a biblical cosmology believer.
I heard you in the clip. I heard you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put this on screen, and maybe we can talk about this real quick, because I'm going to put forward that, you're in your disagreements with the scriptures and with the book of Enoch specifically, that you've got it inaccurately. You got it wrong. As far as what maybe, I don't know what version you read. I don't know how you interpreted it yourself, but I can just put this on screen. We can look at it together. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is from First Enoch, and this is from chapter 72. So it talks about the sun, it introduces the sun and all the descriptions of it, and it says here that the sun is the great luminary, and the sun, his circumference is like the circumference of the heaven. So your idea was that the portals that is mentioned, about the 6 portals that the sun goes through throughout the year, your idea was you thought that the portals go like into the ground and under the earth and then come back up again.
Yeah,
like
under,
Egyptian
under the north.
mythology?
Yeah.
Under,
That's what the
north?
words
So you
say.
mean into
Yeah.
the ground?
That's what it says. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't, because it talks about it being over the earth and the circumference of the heaven. So that's all. I just want to point that out to you as you study this.
And there goes forth the great luminary named the sun, and his circumference is like the circumference of the heaven.
Yeah.
Right. But that's not the portal. That's not where the portal is. Where's
Enoch?
the portal? Where's the portal?
What does Enoch in the Bible describe as the heaven?
Here you go. Verse 3. And I saw 6 portals in which the sun rises, and 6 portals in which the sun sets, and the moon rises and sets in these portals.
Where
and
are
the
these
leaders of
portals
the
at?
stars under the earth.
Right here. Look above.
Yeah.
I just highlighted for you. They're in the heaven. The portals of the heaven. That's above the earth, the firmament, the heaven. Genesis 1:8.
They go under the north.
No, it says it lowers.
You gonna
in the
ignore that
north
part?
so that it comes back up in the east, but it doesn't go into the ground because it stays. It says it has a chariot in the heaven on which it descends and drives. This is in the heaven. It goes down from the heaven, returns to the north in order to reach the east. And so it's guided to appropriate portals and shines on the face of the heaven. And so the reason why this matters,
So
is
it comes
because
down
this
in the
word-
north instead of up in the north?
No, it's
No,
with that you can actually. There's I didn't prepare an entire show on all these clips, but there are clips, people from the North Pole, where they filmed the 24-hour sun, and you can see it dipping and rising like this. Now, of course, the global geo model would say, "Oh, well, that's the wobble of the tilt." They'll say, because they track the sun as it goes around them.
It's
in the
not.
north.
It's not the wobble.
I know. I agree, because there's no
It's-
globe. But
No,
what I'm saying
don't,
is,
don't,
this is
no,
not.
no, you're straw manning the globe.
This is not going down
Sean,
into the
hold on.
ground.
Back up
The
a
sun
second,
is
Sean.
never. The Bible
Hold
never
on, Sean.
describes the sun going down into the
Back
ground.
up a second. You're straw manning.
What am I straw
You
manning?
want to address that? You said the earth wobbles and the tilt and the wobble are related. That's not the case.
No, I said the appearance of the movement of the sun when a 24-hour sun has been filmed in the north, and they followed it 360 degrees around their head. It seems, and you keep a straight line on the horizon, you can see the sun slightly dipping and rising again. We have video of it.
Yeah.
So, and this isn't videos from people that believe in biblical cosmologists. This is
But
just videos
but
that's
but
already
you,
out there.
now, I want you to expand on when you said the word wobble.
Nope, because I'm talking about this right here. The reason I brought this up
Oh,
is because
all right.
you asked.
All right, straw man it. Back away. Fine. Perfect.
No, I'm just saying. Look, this is what we have on screen. I'm saying to you, the heaven is always described as being above the earth, and the portals that are described in verse 2 are at the eastern and the western, are in the heaven. So when it talks about descending in the north and coming back through the east, it's already defined these terms for you, which is why it says it does a circumference in the circuit of the heaven above. So this is where, I'll put, and we can complement this. I know you don't like First Enoch, and that's okay. We can complement this with the Bible itself. As far as Psalm 19, verses 4 through 6. Okay, it says, in the heavens, he has pitched a tent for the sun, like a bridegroom emerging from his chamber, like a champion rejoicing to run his course. It rises at one end of the heavens and runs its circuit to the other. Nothing is deprived of its warmth. Do you believe that this is saying that we're on a ball? So that's what it means by rises?
I believe that this is somebody just writing what they wrote, and that if you think that this is literally saying that the earth is flat, then you are literally claiming that the Bible is wrong.
No. I said there's a firmament over the earth. The earth has topology. It has ravines, mountains, rivers, undulation, things like that.
Nobody thinks that flat earthers actually think that mountains don't exist.
Well, flat earthers also don't believe it's a disk in space with water falling off the edge.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, I'm just, for the audience watching, for there's a lot of people that do think that that's the description. So when I have to define what do we mean by it's not a ball, I say it's enclosed by a firmament. And this is the idea of the sun that's in the heavens. This word rises is the word matzah in the Hebrew, which is the word for going forth. And yeah, it can be translated by modern translators as the word rises.
I don't care. I don't use this as evidence that the Bible says anything about the earth. So
That's fine.
You're going after a red herring here.
So I'm exposing you to this new information I don't think you've ever researched or looked at. Just like you probably want to share with me some stuff you don't think I've looked at, right? So you can sway me to my opinion, your opinion?
Yeah. All right, go. Continue.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the word matzah in the Hebrew. That word means to go forth, to proceed forth, to issue forth. It doesn't mean that we're spinning backwards. And so therefore this has the appearance of rising. The circuit is a completed circle, right? That's the definition of a circuit. A completed circle. This is what it's talking about in First Enoch 72 about the circumference in the heaven, which of course is where Genesis 1:19 tells us that the Father in Genesis 1:14 through 19, the Father said he put the sun, moon, and stars in the heaven, in the firmament. So you're saying to me that you, as a Christian, you don't believe that part of the Bible, but you do believe that Christ came from heaven to live as a man.
Don't put that on me, Sean. Oh
what are you talking
dear.
about?
Oh dear, don't put that on me. I don't believe your personal interpretation of it, Sean. Right? You have put forth your personal interpretation and asserted that everybody has to accept your personal interpretation of it, and everybody else is wrong if they don't believe your personal interpretation of it. Well, I completely reject that. I do not accept your personal interpretation of the Bible.
Do you agree
there
with my
are
interpretation
many
of Christ?
people that disagree with
That's
your
fine.
personal opinion on the Bible. I'm not
No,
saying
I
that
understand
any
that.
one personal interpretation is right. All we need to do to figure out the shape of the earth is not look at the Bible. We just go look at the earth and see what shape it is.
Let's see what we do agree about on the Bible is what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to ask you if you do acknowledge that Jesus is the Christ. that he's the
We've
Son of
already
God.
established
Okay.
the commonality. This is about the shape of the earth, really. We know that. Right.
Sure.
So
when
so when we go,
when
well,
Christ was getting
let's
baptized
draw
in
the
Matthew
Venn
3.
diagrams. Hold on, let's draw the Venn diagram of what we believe. It's going to overlap, and where it's not going to overlap is the shape of the earth.
That's fine. That's fine.
There you go.
This matters to the shape of the earth. What I'm about to ask you about Christ. Okay. So there's two places in Christ's life that's recorded in the Gospels and also in Acts chapter 1. In Matthew 3, when Christ is being baptized, it says the heavens opened and he hears the voice of God. This is my son whom I'm well pleased. So the word heaven is defined as the word firmament previously in the Bible. So how do you interpret that when you see Jesus, a voice from heaven, the heavens opened and a voice from heaven is saying, this is my son whom I'm well pleased with? How do you interpret that for Christ?
Figurative.
Well, what does that mean though? Like figurative in what way?
Well, it may be that people heard. It may be something that was added to the story. Uncertain about that, but I don't know that there is any particular revelation about the shape of the earth in the statement, and the heavens opened up and right, God spoke. That's not some sort of revelation about the shape of the earth.
Okay. Okay. And then in Acts 1, when he descends into heaven and the angels have to tell the disciples, you can stop looking for him now. He's going to, just as he descended, he'll come back when he returns. In that Acts 1 moment, he descended up into the sky, into the clouds, into the heaven. And as Hebrews 4:15 says, he passed through the firmaments, through the heavens to get to the temple at the top. What do you think that means for Christ? Like if you believe you live on a globe and the Bible is completely wrong about the descriptions of the creation.
No,
Where
don't
did
put that. You
Christ
keep putting
go?
that on me.
Well, that's
I
what
think
you told me,
it's
though,
I
tonight.
think it's figurative. I don't think it's wrong. I didn't say it's wrong. I think
Well,
it's
then where did
figurative.
Christ go if he figuratively rose into the sky, into the heavens?
Don't know.
Okay, where do you think Christ is currently in
Don't
the
know.
heliocentric model?
Not in a physical location. How about that?
Okay, so do you subscribe to like string theory, multidimensional theory? Do you describe like you think he went to a different veil of reality, a different multiple dimensions or something?
Something like that could be proposed. I'm not a big. I don't know a ton about string theory. What I do know is not enough to have a strong opinion one way or the other.
Okay.
So the things like quantum multiple worlds, I don't have an opinion on those either.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because when you start to research it, historically, it's actually what the ancient Hindus taught through Shiva, that he was a destroyer of worlds, but he also within him held multiple realities at the same time. So it's kind of interesting where string theory itself is just repackaged ancient Hindu theology, but they call it science.
I don't think you've looked at string theory enough.
Yeah, I have. Well, it's interesting, but why would you say that to me when you just said you haven't researched it?
Because it's a highly mathematical. It's not some esoteric stuff.
You know,
Like-
the ancient Indians were extremely sophisticated mathematically.
Certainly.
I actually found a unique article that NASA in 1985 had a particular researcher who adopted Sanskrit in order to try to find an AI, an early form of AI.
And
He
when?
thought that was
When was this?
1985. 1985. There was a NASA researcher. He just convinced. He actually got the funding to create an entire department, and he was convinced that the ancient language of Sanskrit from ancient India was the perfect mathematical language for AI because of the way it was formatted. And so they've been researching that ever since.
Is
But
that
that's
is that what
interesting.
AI is written in today?
I don't think so, honestly, but it's interesting
It's
that
neural
that was
networks.
where,
Yeah.
30 years ago they tried that, 40 years ago they tried that path. But so it's interesting. Okay. All right. Well, just FYI, I have thoroughly for years and years, to the point where I've literally written a commentary about it. I have the books behind my shoulder over here. I've written a commentary about the Book of Enoch, and I have delved into what it describes and how it's consistent in its description with the Bible, and I would say with observable reality. Now, here's another clip that you said recently in one of your shows about the sun itself, that you decided that the sun does not change in diameter.
I
Let me
didn't
find this
decide.
out.
It's measured. Yeah.
Okay. I'll pull this clip up for us, and you just give me your thoughts on what you thought here.
Okay.
But you basically said that you have a P1000, you have a solar filter, and that you've actually at 12 o'clock and then 12 hours later at the sunset, you've tried to take pictures and you don't see a change in diameter of the sun. And that was from your observer height, right? I'm guessing you were just on the ground when you did those experiments.
Here's my solar filter.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to show this in this clip too. I
Yeah,
got it.
yeah.
But I'm just asking you, I'm guessing you were on the ground when you did this experiment?
Yeah, I was in the same location.
Yeah,
That's-
6
it's
feet off the
important.
ground?
Yeah, it's
though? You're
important.
on
Yeah.
level ground?
Yeah.
Okay. You weren't on a mountaintop, right?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to play this clip, and I've got a little clip from a show that I do about biblical cosmology where we had tried to address this exact argument.
Said, this is claim number 12, if you go back up, the sun appears to get further away and the sun gets smaller as it does. The sun size changes during the day, even if it's a nominal change, but this gives some credence to the fact that the sun gets smaller and smaller as it goes away in the distance.
Wow. And he brought measurements, right? You know, how many arc seconds wide it varied throughout the day. He brought that, right? Of course not.
Of course not.
No. I have a Nikon P1000 and I have a high quality solar filter, holding it up on the YouTube stream there, for that camera. And I have myself taken photographs of the sun at midday, somewhere near midday, and around sunrise and sunset. More sunset. I like to sleep in. Anyway, so the height of it, the height of it does vary a little bit when you get to the horizon, as predicted by the globe, because of optical refraction causing the vertical compression, but the width is the same. So so I don't know why he would say that. For flat Earth, it would have to vary, depending on where you are, by 2x or 3x or 4x throughout the day, from when it's closest to you at local solar noon to 12 hours later when it's farthest away from you. But according to flat Earth, geometry must still be above the horizon 12 hours later. You can never not see the sun on flat Earth. Nothing is ever between you and the sun unless you're underground. So the diameter of the sun would have to vary dramatically because it is farther away, but it doesn't. It stays consistent with very small variations. I don't know why you think that would help him. It doesn't.
I got a quick little clip I wanted to show everybody because we've been talking about the sun and the moon moving overhead. That it doesn't, it's not, you're not spinning away from the sun. You can literally watch it move overhead and change and get smaller in size. It's harder to do that from the ground because you're looking through so much atmosphere, and way in the distance beyond what your natural eyes can see, there's topography, there's land undulations, there's mountains in the distance. So as the sun gets further away from you, it gives the appearance that it's setting because it's actually starting to get blocked by the limits of your own personal vision. So therefore, if you go higher up, if you get up at altitude and you watch the sunset, you can literally watch it get smaller as it just literally moves away from you. And we actually have a unique clip of that.
Dollars on the daily, that's the banknote. Just for some computer animation from a space probe. That's a cartoon, all I'm seeing is a fake globe. And NASA never landed on the moon, it was a fake, bro. So peep the show, ain't no sleeping, no, I'm on no dose. I preach the kingdom, I'm still
I muted the music, so obviously there's no solar filter on there. Why do they never do that? Why is glare always what they look at? Yes, I am.
Yeah, you know my...
He asked if I'm watching it. That's not an infrared. That's a Photoshop or a post-processing filter. Yes, I'm watching it, but I didn't want that music going through. I don't know if it's copyrighted or not. So
It's not
okay.
Copyrighted.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's actually music by a guy named Wes Blaze. He's the co-host of that show I do about biblical cosmology.
All right.
And he's not going to strike your channel for it.
Okay.
So
that's good.
We got infrared.
That wasn't infrared.
We got a infrared contrast from that filter.
That was a post-processing filter. That wasn't an infrared filter on the physical camera. So that wasn't.
So you
infrared.
saw the body of the sun. do exactly what you talked about in your
I
stream,
saw.
where it got
I saw.
10x smaller.
Here's what you do. You put a solar filter on the front of the camera, and then you don't get the glare. So what you saw there was the glare shrinking. It's like you've never researched this before, Sean.
So you're saying
that was glare.
The glare, even as it goes off the body of the sun as it moves away over a 2-hour period, you're claiming that the glare.
Yeah, you
is
saw
shrinking.
glare. Put a solar
because
filter on.
the
If you
brightness of
can't,
the light
if you
of the
can't see
sun-
the sunspots, then you don't have a solar filter on. That's how you know.
Why would only the glare shrink down 10x the smaller size of the original glare if it was just going behind the curvature of the Earth?
It's not my responsibility to teach you
I'm addressing
optics.
your critique.
You
I'm
don't
addressing your
understand
critique.
photography.
I'm addressing your critique. Why would the glare
Sean,
reduce its? Let me
put
answer you.
a solar filter on the camera.
Why
I
would
don't
why
care
would the
about your
glare-
misunderstanding of photography.
I don't care about your bad
It's-
explanation of this.
It's
Why would the
your
glare
misunderstanding of
reduce in
photography
size
is straw
as a
manning this
circle?
position.
A glare does not reduce in size as a circle.
Yes, it does.
Okay. All right. That's right. That's your answer. Okay.
Yes, it's my answer is that you don't understand
bad.
photography. You don't understand how glare works.
Okay. So glares now, whenever a glare changes in size, it changes perfectly in the circumference of a circle.
It's not. It wasn't perfect. It was vertically compressed. But like I said, and you mentioned the solar filter. So why didn't you put a solar filter on that?
That was a previous clip.
Why
That
didn't
was
you get a
different
video?
Context, a previous clip.
Yeah. Why didn't you compare apples to
Wasn't
apples?
my video. Wasn't
Okay.
my video.
Then get a different video that's an apples to apples comparison. Get an actual
is,
solar filter where you can
I want
see.
you-
Where you
do
can
this for
see.
me. I want you to-
Hold on,
since you're a
Sean.
photographer, are
You
you a
did
photographer?
not do a good experiment. Standard flat
you a
Earth is
photographer?
garbage experiments.
Okay. Can you control yourself not to do the ad hominems, just have a normal conversation like a brother in Christ?
Dude, you are strawmanning the globe. You are lying
ask you
about
this,
glare,
Michael.
Sean.
Michael, prove
You
me
are
wrong. Show me-
intentionally choosing
Prove me wrong.
something. No, Sean, I'm explaining
use
to
your
you.
photography
You are
techniques.
intentionally
Use your solar
misrepresenting
filter.
it.
I want you to, on your channel in the following weeks, put up some experiments where you show with the solar filter, take the solar filter off and use the glare that you said. And I want you to show the sun, go to the top of a mountain and show a sun where the glare reduces in an orb fashion. If you can show me that, I've never seen that. If you can show me that, we can have a different conversation.
Okay. And then by the same token, you get a solar filter. And if you won't do it, then I don't have any reason to do it, right? And so get a solar filter, a real solar filter, not a neutral density filter, a proper solar filter, and put it on a camera, and then get a video of that sun setting. I'll do it if you will.
Oh.
Turnabout's fair play.
So I've got the original experiment video, but you're not going to actually debunk it until I do a different video.
No, you're asking me to do something. I'm asking you to do something, Sean.
No, I'm saying your critique is lazy, and all you said was, "Oh, well, that's a glare." And I'm saying if you truly think it's a glare that actually reduces in size in a perfect orb, which I've never seen a glare ever do, then you need to prove that.
You
need to prove
just
it.
showed the video doing that, Sean.
No,
That's
not
what-
a glare was.
that's what
wasn't
it
the
is.
glare. The glare was around the body of the sun, which was shrinking as in distance as it goes away. The reason why I say that is the exact reason
Wow.
why I put up Psalm 19:6 earlier. The word matzah is the word for proceeding forth, moving across the face of the heaven. It's not a word for rising up over a curvature. It doesn't
I don't
rise
care,
up out of the
Sean.
ground.
Garbage experiment. That is dishonest.
You don't care about the definitions of words in the Bible. I'm understanding. that.
I
You've
don't
been
care
very
about
private
your
in that.
personal interpretation of the Bible. I also am very unimpressed with a garbage experiment that you know is garbage. You are not measuring the size of the sun when you measure the size of glare.
Thank you,
If
Mac
you
Mac, for the super chats. I
cannot-
really appreciate that.
If you
Michael,
cannot,
just 1 second, brother. I'm gonna address some of these super chats. Mac, I'm not. I may not be addressing these. I'm not taking questions from the live chat for Michael tonight. I just want to have a conversation between he and I. But so I really appreciate your super chats, and I'm reading them right now just to let you know that I do acknowledge them. I do see them. And he's asking, ultimately, one of your super chats is asking, is this just headbutting? I don't want it to be. And I say that to you as well, Michael. I don't want it to be. I do think that it's, I disagree with how you treat the scriptures in favor of the mainstream narrative for the earth. So, but that he disagrees with how I treat the scriptures. because he thinks that, you
Yeah.
know, he thinks that
That's
it's my
fair.
interpretation.
Totally
Yeah.
fair.
But the goal isn't here is just to arm wrestle or headbutt. I just thought possibly I could ask him where he's coming to on his, and he's pretty much already told me. I mean, here we are 41 minutes in. He's pretty much told me that regardless of what the Bible says, if his understanding of what he observes in life and his understanding, his conclusion of that is that it contradicts the Bible, he does place the Bible as either
Your
not
interpretation of the
inspired,
Bible. Don't
not
straw
inspired.
man me.
Well,
Stop
I'm
it.
trying to, that's why I'm asking you
Your
to explain.
interpretation.
Okay, so I'm without saying your interpretation. If you think that the Bible it presents a different reality to you than what the plain words and the definitions of those words say, then what do you call the Bible then?
When it comes to shape of the earth, figurative.
Okay, if it's figurative, that usually is a comparative statement to something else. What's it being compared to?
I don't know. Don't care. I don't even agree with you how you think figurative is.
Then what do you call figurative? I'm asking you for your own definitions.
Not literal.
Again, then what is it comparing itself to?
When it says that you travel as with wings of eagles. They don't have wings of eagles. It's figurative. When it says
You mean
it's
Isaiah
like
40?
a
You mean the passage in Isaiah 40?
yeah. When it says
You'll run and not
it's
fall,
it's
you'll
like a
walk and not
tent.
faint.
It's not actually animal skins and sticks holding it up. It has some aspects of a tent, but
You
it's
mean
not
a
a
covering?
tent. It's not an actual tent.
Okay,
Yeah.
but isn't that what a tent means? It's a covering that's spread out, and you can stand under different aspects of the covering.
When you're standing there at night, and you go in the country where you don't have light pollution, you look up, you're like, it does have aspects of that.
I've never seen any aspects of a tent when I stare at the stars in the sky. Is that what you're talking about?
I have. So there you go.
Do you poke holes in your tent?
I don't.
Just trying to understand your thought process here. That's all, man.
It
Look,
has
clearly,
aspects of a tent. Sean.
clearly, you made it very clear on your channel that you don't respect someone like me or the way I look at the scriptures. Or
I don't
even
respect
some of
you,
the-
Sean. I want to make this clear.
Yeah.
You are claiming the Bible is wrong.
No, I'm not.
That's what you're doing because
No,
the Earth
you
is
should stop saying
factually
that. That's weird.
the Earth is
should stop saying
factually a globe, and if you say that the Bible
No.
says otherwise, you are claiming the Bible is wrong.
So therefore, your highest theology you appeal to is science, who's told you
No.
that you live on the globe.
I disagree with your interpretation of it. You keep
Okay.
putting the same thing on me as if your interpretation is the only valid one, Sean. It's not. Lots of people disagree with you.
Well,
You're
yeah,
not.
the
You're
same-
not.
this- I
You're
used to
not the
disagree with
one
what
that
I'm saying
holds
too. Do you know
the
that?
key to interpreting the Bible. You're not the one.
No
You're
one's
not
made a
Neo.
special appeal to authority. I never claimed to be the authority. I've
Then
claimed to
stop
say-
putting it on me as if I'm rejecting the Bible if I disagree with your interpretation of the Bible.
Okay,
Be
so-
honest with me, come to it in good faith, and acknowledge that I disagree
This is
with your
hilarious.
position of the Bible. That's
I
the
already
position.
said that you disagree with it.
Okay, but
we
then
made
you
that
go
very
back
clear.
to me, then you go and put on me, you say, you are disagreeing with the Holy Scriptures. No, I'm disagreeing with your interpretation.
Interesting. Okay, so my interpretation was also held by a non-biblical cosmologist that recently passed away. He's a PhD in ancient biblical Hebrew as well as Akkadian. His name was Dr. Michael Heiser, and he emphatically says that the Bible teaches a firmament enclosed circle of Earth.
Yep.
He then goes on to conclude, but I don't agree with it because NASA basically is showing us that we live on a ball in space.
Okay.
So does that guy also have a special interpretation?
That's what he thinks, yeah. But Dr. Danny Faulkner, PhD, he disagrees with you.
Oh, sure. Yeah, he
So
disagrees.
Dr. William Lane Craig
Lots of-
disagrees with you.
Bro.
Dr.
Bro,
William,
WLC can
Yeah.
he's gonna have a lot to answer for. He teaches some wonky stuff all the way around, but
yeah.
that's not the
But
point.
I
So what
don't
I'm
care.
saying is, look,
Answers
no
in
one's making a special
Genesis,
appeal.
Institute for Creation Research, Creation Ministries International, Reasons to Believe, Christian Research Institute, Sign of the Times, Creation
Dr.
Experience
Q. Ross.
Museum, Calvary Christian Fellowship of Tucson, Seventh-day Adventists as a whole denomination, Mike Winger, Encounter Today. The list goes on of people that
There's a
have
lot of
differing
people.
opinions
That's right.
with you. So
Not with me.
who is right?
That's the difference.
Who is right? Well, we could just go measure the shape of the
Right.
earth.
So when I asked you earlier about Christ and he ascended to heaven, and I said Hebrews 4:15 tells us he ascended through the heavens, which is that word is defined as firmaments. He ascended through the heavens to get to the tabernacle in Hebrews 8:1, where he ministers to the Father on the behalf of our sins. The Bible consistently has definitions for those terms in the context of that application of eschatology and Christ's ascension to his priestly duties. So this is where, I know that's what you would like to put this as, is it's my interpretation, but this is just the definitions of the words, is that Christ ascended through the firmaments to the top layer to the temple in heaven to minister on our behalf. And basically, you've decided that you think that that's figurative. You don't like its actual definitions. You don't have a supplementary alternative definition. You just say it's figurative.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't need to. I can just go measure the shape of the earth.
That's the laziest thing I've ever heard, Michael.
I can go measure the shape of the earth. I've done it.
Yeah, there's lots of people besides me. I can measure the shape of the earth in my backyard and see mountains 150 to 200 miles away. And other people have measured the shape of the earth and seen things way too far away. I live in Wyoming. We have long stretches of flat land in between very tall 12,000, 13,000 foot peaks. I can disprove the radius value of the earth every day.
Bring it up.
Going outside and looking outside. I've done it.
Do it right now.
I don't have pictures. I'm not a photographer.
What numbers did you do? You did something, right? Did you write down the numbers at least?
Do you know the radius value of the earth?
Yeah, 6731.
Okay, so then you understand there has to be a proportionate of curvature that moves away from you in a downward angle, so that land features beyond your visible sight over that curvature must be hidden. You understand that?
Yeah. I'm well versed in the math.
Okay. So then when I see a mountain that defies all of that math, then I know there's a problem with the math. So this is where you keep claiming your personal observation
bring it up.
biblical description.
Bring it up. Let's look at it right now. Instead of you just saying that, let's look at it right now.
Your testimony,
because my certainty is that you did the math wrong. You did the math wrong, Sean.
You're always going to say that if you just
math,
disagree.
Sean, you can't do the math. I know you suck at math. I'm not. It's not an insult to say you suck at math. I suck at crocheting.
You also seem to suck at actually applying definitions to your theology.
I don't care about your theology, Sean.
Mm-hmm. So this
my theology is not your theology.
To be a Christian, and you think that Christ.
Oh, here comes the no true Scotsman. No true Scotsman, everybody.
How much of the Bible do you believe?
Go ahead. Yeah. Chuck out the no true Scotsman, Sean. That's it. That's all you got. But Sean, you're scared to go to the math because you know that if your math was examined, it would be wrong.
Michael, I'm asking you as a Christian, how much of the Bible do you believe?
It doesn't matter. I disagree with the parts about that you think say that the earth is flat. And I'm concerned about people thinking that the Bible is wrong, and you are saying that the Bible is wrong.
Yeah, you got to quit saying that. That's really weird.
I won't stop saying that until you find evidence that the earth is flat, or you stop claiming that the Bible says it.
Weird because I disagree. This is why I disagreed with Will on my channel when he said that you were good faith, because this whole time
you were not in good faith, Sean. You came with a crappy glare argument. You won't show me the math for your observation.
This whole time I've been talking about the Bible, and I've been explaining to you the definitions.
I don't care about your personal interpretation, Sean. That's all you've brought. Your personal interpretation.
That I am actually the one that is not believing the Bible.
No, I didn't say that. I think you believe the Bible says the earth is flat, and I think that you believe the Bible is wrong.
Let's have a coherent conversation. You said multiple times when I brought up scripture that you just don't care what the definitions are.
I don't care about your interpretation, Sean. Let me make it clear.
A definition
your interpretation is wrong, Sean.
Michael, what's the definition of the
your interpretation of the Bible disagrees with reality.
What's the definition of the globular radius value of the earth?
What's the definition of it? It's the distance from the center to the perimeter.
I don't agree with your definition. I don't agree with your interpretation of that. You see how stupid that is?
Yeah. It is, because that's a science topic.
Yeah. So the point is, words are actually verified etymologically, historically, contextually, through all lexicons and concordances. And so when you step in and you say,
that's a broad claim.
I think the Bible is wrong. And then you go in and say, here's a definition from the word in the Bible that you disagree with because you call it my
you said, Sean, you said all lexicons and concordances.
There is nothing more bad faith than what you're doing.
Sean, let me read to you the definition for hug from the Chaldean, Hebrew and Chaldean concordance.
Read the definition of the firmament.
Look, here we go. Ready?
Read the definition
Circle,
of the firmament.
sphere.
Read the definition of the
No,
firmament.
you said all definitions, all concordances. Here's one. The concordance of
definition of
Hebrew
firmament.
and Chaldee scriptures
'Cause
says that hug.
you don't apply something in
that
Isaiah
hug.
40:22 that has a contrary definition to something that's already been established in Genesis 1:8.
Oh, yeah, contrary
Because you don't
definition. Cool,
study your Bible,
cool.
do you?
I care nothing about your personal interpretation, Sean.
Okay.
It's all you have.
Personal interpretation.
Yeah, your personal interpretation says
just so everyone's
that,
listening,
and
just so
that's
everyone's
contrary to reality, Sean.
Michael, just so we're listening.
You
just
want
so
the
we're on
Bible
same
to be
page,
wrong.
Just so we're on the same page, Michael. Every time that I mention the idea of what the Bible defines as a word, you call it my interpretation. That's a bad faith response, brother.
Okay, well, Sean, let me just say this. If that were the case, let's accept that for a moment. Then you are saying the Bible's wrong
Nope, you keep saying it.
because the earth is factually a sphere.
This is an odd encounter here.
The
Michael. I
earth
hope that
is
we can do
factually a
better
sphere,
tonight.
and you are claiming the Bible says otherwise. Fine, let's accept your definition.
I
Then
so
the
hope that
Bible's
we can do
wrong
better
by your
tonight.
definitions.
But
This-
you've made this extremely awkward by continuing to say the opposite of what I've been saying tonight.
Yeah, but Sean, the earth is factually a sphere. It's been measured. And your math sucks. You didn't do it right. You won't bring it up. I know why. Because as soon as I
All right, so
analyze it,
real quick,
it
just
will
for
be
the sake
shown that
of-
you're wrong, Sean.
For the sake of our time here tonight, I'm going to pull this last thing up. This is something you brought up in your channel about the 24-hour sun in Antarctica, and I'd like to address this because this obviously is where I got the idea to invite you on my show from Will. Will was talking about the final experiment. He's pushing that hard right now about the 24-hour summer sun.
And said, no, there is no flat earth explanation for the sun doing circles around you in Antarctica. There's nothing. It doesn't match the map. It doesn't match other ideas that people have tossed out there.
So she approached the station as they were coming from the south. She was facing north, and she saw the sunset northwest from where she was. And that was February 19, 2019. She was facing north. The sun was clearly setting on the northwest side of the ship, which was facing north.
We may never get this opportunity. Let's face it, you might be assassinated tomorrow. Can you go through what you have, boiled down from your time in Antarctica?
Summer sunrise, sunset.
Yeah, the sunrise again in the summertime the sun is a lot higher, and then in the wintertime it gets a lot lower, and obviously it's the lowness that's giving it the appearance of darkness kind of thing.
But if you would describe how the sun rises and sets, what the sun does in the summer.
Summertime it does more of an arc, and in the wintertime it's even flatter, so you'd be kind of doing something similar to that, and then obviously summertime's more that.
Up and down on the horizon, it's not going round and around above your head in circles.
No, I just sit and looked at it thinking, oh look, the sun's spiraling above my head or something like that. Yeah, it did like a better 180 arc, not like a 360, so you see it move in and move out, so it wasn't just like straight across, but yeah.
So I tried to find footage of another Antarctica base. There is an Antarctica base on the other side of the Antarctic Circle, looking at the flat earth map, called Myrna. That's a Russian base. So I started looking for footage from them. I did find one online. I'm not sure if it was filmed at that base or not. But if you look, this is the Brazilian flag, is where they were both explaining the movement of the sun from east to west at the horizon, and this is the footage taken from the Russian bases. So I believe it's Myrna Station on the other side. I cannot confirm that. I do not read Russian. I could not understand anything. But from there, they see the moon circulating the flat earth coming from their east. Remember, they are in Antarctica, beyond the South Seas. And that's the moon circulating just as we see here in this animation. And then comes the sun, same direction coming from the east to west. And that's the sun coming, same movement coming from east to west, but not above their heads. they have to look in front of them and they see the sun moving sideways. That was filmed on April 12th, 2014.
Okay. So we have video evidence of a summer sun moving from the northeast to the northwest in a small angle across the horizon, which would be consistent with the biblical cosmological model of a firmament enclosed circle of Earth. What say you, brother?
What I say is that none of those were analyzed for what the actual globe prediction is. The most common tactic from flat earthers is to say the globe predicts, and then something that the globe does not predict. And then you find something that doesn't match the not globe prediction, and then you declare flat Earth. But from April, on the coast of Antarctica, we don't predict a 24-hour sun. The only place that has 6 months of 24-hour sun is right at the pole, at the South Pole, 90 degrees south.
That's why we serve the testimony from the gentleman that
I wasn't. Let me finish.
Base.
Let me finish. I didn't talk over that video there. So the guy at the base, he's at McMurdo, which is on the coast, which is north of 70 degrees, I think, latitude. So all of those things completely match the prediction of the globe. So one day,
go above his head like this.
One day, at the Antarctic Circle, you'll see the 24-hour sun. 6 months at the South Pole. 6 months at the... Why are you interrupting me?
Because you got nothing on this.
Why are you interrupting me with a lie, Sean?
Tell me what the globe should say in a summer sun in Antarctica. It should go above our head, right?
It depends where you are and what day of the year it is.
Even
so
if I was
everybody,
south, it would never go from a small angular circle on the horizon from northeast to northwest.
Sean, everybody on December 21st, south of the Antarctic Circle, will see a 24-hour sun. You had a video from April, not December.
That doesn't matter.
You had a video from February. It completely matters, Sean.
Yeah,
you need to actually come in good faith and do the actual globe prediction, which you did not do. Banjo did not do. They all did this while they were assuming that these positions,
quote unquote, testimony with no video evidence. We have testimony.
Oh, I have lots. I have video evidence, Sean.
No, you don't. You've got edited film. You do not have a 24-hour video evidence of the Antarctic summer sun circling above someone's head for 24 hours. The body of the sun.
I'm gonna make you a liar, Sean. I mean,
do you have actual evidence, or you're gonna pull up the video that was purported? What was it? Was it BBC? Will they publish that one where you can see the cuts in it? The shadows change.
All right, just a second here.
And tell me, and so you're just Google searching at this point?
Nope, I'm in my Evernote here. So give me a second here.
So what are we going to do about this?
Well,
you claim to have evidence of testimony, as well as, do you have testimony, or you just have what this video is presented to you?
I have plenty of testimony. I have people in the live chat here that are like, they've seen the 24-hour sun themselves. So yes,
so then we also
testimony.
have other people that have been to Antarctica that say they do not see it circling 360 above their head.
Okay. Well, all right. Let's establish your standard. Sean, let's establish your standard of evidence. You accept video evidence. You accept personal testimony, right?
Yeah, testimony.
Okay.
So what do we do if we have contrary?
So, well, they aren't contrary. What you do is you analyze, which you didn't do, and Banjo didn't do, because he never does analysis, and neither did Oakley. Neither of them looked at where. Because
why are you saying that about people? You don't know their personal lives.
Sean, listen up.
Michael.
When they said I was there on this particular day, what was the actual location and what's the actual globe prediction? That was not presented. That was not done. That's not hard to do.
24-hour sun video been blasted around the world to disprove the FE claims for the last 9 years?
All right.
Why is it so hard for you to find it if it's so prevalent?
I have it. All right. There you go.
Okay. So who's Robert Schwartz?
Robert Schwartz. Schwartz spent time at the South Pole. This is
how do you know Robert Schwartz?
How do you know the guys in the video that you did? You don't know them either. So
No, I don't.
we're at
but
the same
they
standard of
actually
evidence
have,
here.
They have a timestamp, they have dates, they have coordinates. You have a random video that's moving in circles where I can already see cuts in the
Oh,
clouds because it's
there's-
moving at high speed. So I'm just saying,
Yeah,
I'm just saying to you,
standard
like,
standard
how do
flat
you-
Earth denialism
How do
here.
you know Robert Schwartz?
Gotta light a flurf.
Okay, so if you're going to be disingenuous
You are
with my critique,
a liar,
why should I
Sean.
take your evidence?
You are a liar.
Well,
You
Michael, I
didn't
hope
like
you had a
the
good
evidence.
conversation.
You're running from the evidence
No
that
one's
contradicted your dirt pizza, your ridiculous lie
Michael.
of flat Earth. It's
Michael,
no, Sean,
let's see
Sean,
the
you no,
video.
there's no. It's playing right
okay.
now. You are refusing to play it to your people.
No,
I
we have it on
understand
stream.
it absolutely
stream. This is
contradicts
it.
flat
We already
Earth.
watched it.
This is
We watched it
impossible
go in
on flat Earth.
360.
This is 5 days. 5
We
days.
watched it go.
Yep. This destroys flat Earth. You asked why hasn't it been blasted around? I don't know why you've not seen it before, Sean. It's here. It's been there for 7 years, Sean.
Michael,
Sitting
here's
there
the first
waiting for
critical
you to
question.
not
Slow
look
down-
at it
slow down
because
for a
it
minute.
contradicts your idiot
Slow down.
idea of the
Slow
flat
down.
Earth and your belief that the Earth is flat and that the Bible is wrong
I'm
is
just
your
gonna have to mute
position.
you since you can't control yourself.
Awesome.
I'm looking at this video that you put up here. Okay. Where you said it's 5 days uninterrupted. Shake your head, yes or no. Where's the guy coming out to change the battery? What kind of battery can go for 5 days uninterrupted? 120 hours? Where can you tell me where the video is where he's coming out to change this battery out of this camera? Do you know that the batteries lose 90% of their lifespan in sub-zero Antarctic weather? So all you got is a simple
All right.
video.
Are you ready for the answers? Are you going to pretend to let me answer now?
No, I'm asking you genuine questions. Can you
Okay.
control yourself and talk normally
Yeah.
now?
It's a time lapse. You don't know how time lapses work?
So it's
It's
not a complete video.
It's a series of photographs, Sean. That's what video
It's
is.
not a complete video.
Sean, a video
Oh, all
is
right,
a
brother.
series of photographs.
This is very disappointing.
Wow.
Very
It's definitely disappointing, Sean. You've been destroyed. Your flat earth lie has been exposed and laid bare to everybody. Everybody in your chat should be ashamed for you now.
You're gone.
Oh, look at that. He kicked me out. What a piece of crap. Hey, Sean, you're a liar. You got wrecked. You said, where's the video? I played the video. You didn't like the video. All right. Sean Griffin thinks that the Bible is wrong. He loves the Bible being wrong. He wants it to be wrong. You see, religious flirts, they're hypocrites, right? He didn't want to do a good experiment with the solar filter on the camera. He wanted to look at glare because he hates doing good science. Religious flirts are evil. Sean Griffin, you lie. Now, last week, and here, I'll prove it. Last week, he had Will Duffy on. And the first thing that he asked Will Duffy to do was to swear on the Bible. Okay, Sean Griffin, you asked somebody to swear on the Bible. Matthew 5:34 says, but I tell you, do not swear an oath at all, either by heaven, for it is God's throne, or by the earth, for it is his footstool, or by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king, and do not swear by your head, for you cannot make even one hair white or black. All you need to say is simply yes or no. Sean, listen up. Anything beyond this comes from the evil one. So, Sean, last week, while talking to Will Duffy, wanted to make it known that Sean is from the evil one. So, there you go. Nice rage quit, Sean. You got wrecked. You couldn't address the evidence. You're like, oh, it's not an uncut video. Yes, it is. But none of that matters, right? That was a straw grasp because it does. You don't need a video. All you need is one time of the sun doing something that the flat earth cannot explain in the south. And that's what this video does. Hundreds of photographs of the sun doing something that the flat earth dirt pizza cannot do. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I don't care about Sean. I knew what way it would head, because flat earthers are liars. They are. This video right here proves that flat earthers are liars. And Sean's unwillingness to do a good experiment by putting a solar filter on the camera, his unwillingness to bring up the numbers of the observation that he claimed that he could do from his house in Wyoming, his unwillingness to actually engage in doing analysis of the positions of the eyewitness personal testimony people that he didn't talk to and didn't do any vetting of, but accepted the vetting that other people did. Weird, that double standard, but double standard is the third law of Flurf. So anyway, yeah, he said time lapse isn't video. So he showed time lapse video, but it's not video. Time lapse doesn't count. You see the dual standard? Dual standards are lying. Lying is from where, Sean Griffin? Get wrecked, Sean. How long has that video been up? It's been up 7 years. It's been up 7 years. Yeah. Axis of rotation. Spike that disc. Yes. Yeah, well, I mean, if you're playing Ultimate Frisbee and you make a good play and you catch it for a goal, you got to throw it to the ground. There it is. Let's play it again. It doesn't matter. One photograph, a single photograph, looking due south, where the sun is up. No more dirt pizza. That's it. You're done. At least he didn't run away from a little bit of math too. Oh wait, he did. Yes. I heard him say when he was talking to Will in April that he falsified the radius by looking at the mountains, and then he went like he was gonna talk down to me about math. He can't do math, right? Not a problem if you can't do math, but don't talk down to somebody who can do math. Tony747 says at what FPS does a video stop being a video? Yeah, exactly. All right, do we have a flatty that's talking about echo chambers? A Syntax says, what a great echo chamber you have. Great way to make yourself feel good. Hey, you're here and you're not getting blocked. How about that? What do you think of that? That makes this not an echo chamber. And you know what? I'm so not scared of you. Look at this. Look at this. You're now moderator. You can't even get blocked. What do you think of that, Syntax? I'm not scared of you. You post your best evidence. Put a link to your best evidence. Epic win there. Anyway, Alexander L said, beware the anti-Semitism. That didn't come up, fortunately. Lord Illuminous Pooh says, I'm pooping less, but I'm wiping more. There's always there's always this line, like there's a crayon down there. Hold on. Sorry, it was a crayon down there. Oh my gosh. I didn't want to. Alexander L says MC Tune is Murrah and FTFE is Riggs. I'm not getting the reference. I'm sorry, Alexander. Timothy Hope says biblical scholar here. As I'm sure you know, Tune, this guy's hermeneutics is fringe. Doing a good job, my friend. Well, yeah, it sorry, it went to the next video there. Yeah, all right. So hermeneutics is a trying to ascertain the meaning of verses, right? So as soon as you start adding interpretation, you're no longer taking it literally, right? Leviticus says that you need to bring your clothing that are mildewed to the priest. I don't think Sean does that. My guess is he just puts it in the washing machine with a little bit of detergent. No amount of hermeneutics can get away from the Bible literally saying you need to do that. All right. Well, anyway, thank you, Timothy Hope. Timothy Hope again says, I spent over a decade formally studying the Bible. I don't care what it says or doesn't say about the shape of the earth. And that's the point. That's the whole point. You can play definition games all day long. It doesn't change reality. Right? So if Sean was leaning in to Bible says this and definitions this, okay, well, you're leaning into the earth being, or the Bible being wrong. That's what you're claiming. That was his core claim. And he doesn't like that, right? Because his position is Bible right. And so he's going about it the wrong direction. He's starting with the conclusion. Right there. He starts at the top there by pre-selecting the conclusion. Select the required conclusion. He has selected Bible right, his interpretation of Bible right, his definitions of things, whatever, play the definition game, right? Then move on from there. It's the other way around in reality. You come to the conclusion at the end, not at the beginning, right? But anyway, he then only accepts supporting evidence, right? He rejected the time lapse of the 24-hour sun, but he accepted number 3 there, or number 2. He accepted the time-lapse videos that definitely were confirming the globe prediction. And he rejected the contradicting evidence. A much better video was presented than the couple he had. He rejected it. Why? Because it contradicted his pre-selected conclusion. Anyway, then finally, he declared that his pre-selected conclusion was undeniably proven. So, no doubt Sean will not be a fan of MC Toon, and I don't care. I'm not a fan of religifleurs that lie about stuff. You suck if you lie. Stop lying, Sean. Put a solar filter on that camera. He wants me to go take a picture of glare. It's not hard to find pictures of glare. He showed a picture of glare, a video of glare. All right, Serena News Once is it's 2024. Show us the pictures and other data. Well, he didn't have that of his Wyoming. I can see too far, right? He didn't want to talk about that. Yeah, his chat's still going. So let's, you know what? I almost want to look at his chat here. I'll just put it up on screen. And we'll see it. I don't know. Maybe I have no idea what they're saying or doing there, but I'll put it up and then we can enjoy seeing that. So, all right, we've got Lord Illuminous Poo says, please ask him if God created Adam and Eve and they had Cain and Abel, where did their wives come from? Well, there's a couple ideas, right? A broad range of ideas. Obviously, one idea is that they were sisters. So, Abraham and Sarah. So it happened. It's in the Bible. So, our culture says things about it, but other cultures don't have the same stance on it. And so I'm not for it, but whatever. It's different people eat horses. I'm not for it. People eat dogs. I'm not for it. Anyway, the other end of it would be that it's completely figurative and that it's just a story, right? And then all sorts of variations in the middle. Lord Illuminous Pooh says, could you read Exodus 21, 2-11 for us and explain it for the class? Oh, all right. Wow. I didn't know I'd get an assignment, but okay, let's do that. Okay. Oops, I didn't get that correctly there. Exodus. All right, I'm just going to copy paste. My fingers are disagreeing. All right. Oh, yeah. If you buy a Hebrew slave, he shall serve you for 6 years, but on the 7th shall go out as a free man without payment. If he comes alone, he shall go out alone. If he's is the husband of a wife, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master gives him a wife, and she bears him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall belong to her master, and he shall go out alone. Yeah. But if the slave plainly says, I love my master, my wife, my children, I will not go out as a free man, then his master shall bring him to God, and he shall bring him to the door or the doorpost, and his master shall pierce his ear with an awl, and he shall serve him permanently. If a man sells his daughter as a female slave, she is not to go free as the male slaves do. Different standard there, yeah. All right. I'll leave it. I'll go with that's clearly not acceptable. So what does that mean? I don't know. Should you take that literally? Nope. Sean should. I think Sean must take that literally, but I'm sure he would say, oh no, the definitions have different things. His personal interpretation means something else, right? But it's literal. That's the trick with Sean. It's literal, but it's not literal. He's going to add some interpretation to it, but it's still literal because he said it's literal. That's the problem. You can't take it. You cannot be literal, right? So let me give you another one. Isaiah 40:22 says that it's their favorite verse. He is he who sits above the circle of the earth. And I mentioned that the Hebrew word hug has also in the Chaldean concordance, Hebrew and Chaldean concordance also means sphere. So what are you going to say about that? But then in Isaiah, same book, 11:12 says he will raise a signal for the nations. He will assemble the banished of Israel and gather this dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. So it's a circle and it's four corners. Can't be both. He's going to have to add interpretation, right? Obviously, and that's the problem. Where is the right interpretation? Well, obviously, Sean thinks that his is the only acceptable interpretation. So, and he knows the definitions of words better than anybody else does, right? The incredible hubris that he knows God's heart more than anybody else when God wrote the Bible. Or was it people writing it? It was people writing it. It wasn't the hand of God reaching down from the heavens. Nobody claims that. So, Lord Illuminus Poo says last one was directed at the opposition, not Toon. Yeah, it's the one about the slaves. It is definitely a problem for literalists, isn't it? So you can't take it literally. Unless maybe you want to. I mean, I suppose people could. Maybe Sean wants to take that literally and think that that's the way it should be. I hope if he did, actually acts on that. I would hope he doesn't actually. So anyway, Lord Illuminus Poo says, sorry. I just read that one. Timothy Hope says, I respect scriptures too much to read it literally. Yeah. I don't know if any of you watch Dan McClellan. He's a scholar, knows his stuff. I watch some of his things on TikTok occasionally. So good stuff. A lot of people don't like him because he's from Latter-day Saints. So I don't know. Is that tainting it? Oh, maybe it is. Oh, geez. Lord Illuminus Poo says, Wade Luda Flargon. All hail Cthulhu. May his danglies wiggle into your mind and madness bring peace. MacMac says, administrative agencies are required to attest to their claims. There's no attestation to any evidence that supports the heliocentric model. There's no attestate. Not sure what you mean by that. Is there's a syntax is still here. It says, I'm not really a flat earther. I'm always on the fence. Flat earthers don't really have much evidence, but they have interesting opposing ideas. I respect this community being logically and only accepting facts. Well, there you go. Thank you. Hey, you keep being decent, you can keep that wrench. Shifty is in here. Maybe not today with a wrench. There he is. Right here. Hold on, Shifty. I'm gonna wrench you again. Don't put your phone in your pocket. I took it away because he had accidentally been blocking people. It was an accident. He did it twice though in 2 different weeks. So I'm like, okay, I gotta take it away. But if you have figure it out, Shifty. You know what I do? I with my phone, I take it and I put the I don't know. I have an iPhone. So when I'm watching a YouTube video so that the live chat isn't there, I'll close the live chat. Or even better, I'll leave the app so that it plays in the corner of the screen. So there's nothing that it could accidentally tap to time people out or do anything like that. I don't know if you have an iPhone or if an Android, and I don't know if there's an thing on that. So, all right. CV McCullers says, WWJD. What would Jesus do? Not be dishonest. He's a lesser-known Kent Hovind. He's a traitor in the temple. This is pseudo-theology. It saddens me that people listen to him. Yes, it's sad. But fortunately, it's not a giant audience, I guess. But yeah, it's sad. And what would he do if he saw evidence that there was a 24-hour sun? Well, we already saw it. He will outright reject it, damning truth to hell. He's not interested in truth. He's only interested in his pre-selected conclusion. You cannot find truth if you've already selected your conclusion. Right? You may happen on an intersection of your pre-selected conclusion and truth, but when you do that, you declare that you're not interested in actually seeking truth. Right? That's what's funny about the flat earthers when they call themselves truthers. They're not. All right. The Jim Tanker says this is like two nerds fighting over which is better, Star Trek or Star Wars. It's all fiction, just like all stories in the Bible. I'll take that. I don't agree, but I'll take that. I get it. And is it Star Wars or Star Trek? Star Trek. Just saying. Just Anyway, Lord Illuminous Boo says Yeshua is Hebrew for Joshua, and the term Christ means anointed in oils, or the anointed one. So I will call him by his real name, Oily Josh. Yep. That works. CV McCullers says our universe doesn't preclude a creator. He's despicable. He's trying to get followers to believe his distorted view of beliefs. Okay. Our universe doesn't preclude a creator. He's despicable. Means Sean's despicable is what you're saying. Okay. He's trying to get followers to believe his distorted version of beliefs. Be honest for once. He doesn't want to be. Lord Luminous Pooh says we have 2,000 years of experience, experiment, and testimony. Yeah, if he's about testimony, people have been to space. People have orbited the Earth. There are people alive today that have stood on the moon. Sean Griffin, Charlie Duke has spent the last 20, 25 years as a full-time evangelist, using his notoriety as one of the people to walk on the moon in the evangelism. He goes to churches and speaks at churches. That's what he does. He has personal testimony. He's seen it with his own eyes. The shape of the earth is a sphere. If you accept testimony, then accept it. Don't have a double standard. Kango44 says another fake Christian liar. Disgusting. Yep. Stringer News 1 says, beware false prophets. Jolene says he's scared that his interpretation of the Bible is wrong. It would destroy his worldview. Okay, bad pun about destroying his worldview. Yeah. That's a good point. Oh, look at that. I should have played the gentleman instead of the angry jester, says Vader Bear. Hey, I got mad that he was lying. What did Jesus do at the temple when people were doing rotten things there? He got a bit more angry than I was. He was turning tables around. He brought out a whip. Well, there you go. All right, looks like his live stream is done. So, all right. Battle Against Misinformation is excellent work, MC Toon. You made him rage quit. Yes. Now, I mentioned I was in the live chat in April. It was like the 10th or 11th of April that he was on with Will Duffy. And I got blocked in the chat. You know why? Because I said that Sean was lying. Yeah, Sean is a liar. Sean Griffin is a liar. Provably a liar. Right? There you go. He didn't like that. Lord Luminous Pooh says he rage quit his own show. I think he went. Did his video actually end like when he ended it with me, or did he go on for a bit after that? I mean, I got booted from StreamYard. Right? Another reason why I didn't, use his StreamYard link. All right, Kango44 says, I have a question. Sunset, sunrise, tides, star observations in North and South Hemisphere all are impossible in the dirt pizza. So why is this 24-hour sun in Antarctica any different? The reason why, it's a great point. The reason why is because many flat earthers have taken a stance on it. And Will found bunches of video of them saying things, and they know they can't unsay it. And Jaron, I talk about Jaron. I talk up Jaron a lot. Here's another one. Okay. Jaron says, right or wrong, he says the 24-hour circling sun in Antarctica doesn't work with flat Earth. And that's why he said that it's not a 24-hour circling sun. He has said that. He has at least been honest in his, his admission that he's using this process here. So I'll grant him that. This is what he did. He selected that Antarctica sun can't set there. It can't. It doesn't do circling around your head. He pre-selected that. He has admitted on live streams that's why he said that. Well, good. I'll give him credit for at least acknowledging his wrong reason for it, right? And the thing is that since he committed to that, he came about it that way, then he knows that puts it in a box, right? He has made a bold statement, a bold prediction. That's what science is. You make a bold prediction. If it doesn't match, cool. If it matches, cool. You know, if you have a favorite one and it was falsified, you might have some emotion about it, right? I get that. I want an experiment to go a certain way and then it doesn't go. Okay, well, yep. You don't like it, but an honest person says, okay, I'll take it. So, okay. PhD Tony says all video is time lapse. Also, they have generators in Antarctica Research Station. Yes. So I don't know how he particularly did that video, right? But it was a series of photographs, and there is a time between the photographs. So I suppose we could look at the frame rate of the video and how many frames it takes to go all the way around to figure out how many seconds between each photograph would be necessary. it's going to be a good sized number of seconds, maybe 10, right? Well, you can change things. It depends how the battery was being done, right, on the camera. Was it some sort of a battery pack? Was it a generator sitting there? Did he have to come out and put gas in it? And where is he coming out from? Well, the camera didn't have a 360-degree view, right? Let's try this one, Sean. Let's say he came from behind the lens, right? Let's say he was on the other side of the lens. Is that hard to figure out? No, Sean, that's not a stretch. What's a stretch is your denial of it. So CG Lamro says doesn't show his math, does classic talkover. Yes. And when Will was talking about it, and Will in April was talking a little bit about the evidence, Sean got nervous and was like, oh, I gotta go back to the Bible, right? The shape of the earth is determinable without the Bible, right? The temperature of your refrigerator, it's working, by the way. The temperature of refrigerator is figure-outable without the Bible, right? You can determine what your heart rate is without the Bible. You can figure out how fast your car is going without the Bible. Thinking that you need the Bible for any of those things is a bit silly. And if the Bible says something that contradicts reality, well, either your interpretation of the Bible is wrong or the Bible is wrong. There you go. Sean thinks the Bible is wrong. He didn't like it when I said that, though. Barry F says, sometimes it's like a magic marker. Is that going back to Lord Illuminous Pooh? Oh my gosh. Otherwise, I'm going to need context. Steve Revel says, comeback Witsit. All is forgiven. This guy is the worst person I've ever seen, and that's coming from an atheist. I thought he was going to explode. He didn't like that I said that he thinks the Bible's wrong. The earth is factually a sphere. You don't like it? You want to say that it's not? Okay, what time will the sun set tomorrow? Go ahead. Use your flat earth geometry. If you're so woke, how high is the sun? What causes the 9.8 meters per second squared downward acceleration? The magnitude. Nothing. You have nothing. Do celestial navigation. You can't do it. Where's high altitude photographs? You don't have that. Right? Of everything, right? Ice wall to ice wall. You don't have that. No. You got nothing. They got nothing. They'll come in the chat, the comment section afterwards, and they're like, some dumb thing. The same old parrot stuff. I'll pin their comment. There you go. Pin of shame. PC Tony says, more importantly, why could God not accept both sacrifices from Cain and Abel and thus prevent the first murder? I don't know. Yeah, and certainly some people, there's going to be an entire spectrum of people who take that different ways, from highly literal to it's basically a parable. So Icy Spin says, the point is we can measure things. No book required. Well, you need a little book learning to actually measure the radius of the earth. Yeah. And when he asked me the radius, it's 6371, right? I do it in metric. He wants to do it all in imperial because he's not done science, probably since chemistry class in high school. My guess is that he did not take physics in high school. And then he said that he went to a Bible college. Okay. That Bible college that says the earth is a globe. And then, he knows better than his Bible college. Maybe he's going to start his own Bible college. Flat Earth Bible College. So, Lord Illuminous Pooh says there's a stairway to heaven, but a highway to hell, almost as if they knew the expected traffic. I was kind of a Luminous Pooh for something nice and goofy. PJ says conclusions need a container. Thank you for that, PJ. No holy book. Icy Spin says no holy book required. Yeah, it's a good, no holy book required for measuring things. And if the holy book says it's something other than what reality says, then the holy book is wrong. But understand, it's typically interpreted, right? There are things that are not interpreted. You really can't mess up the interpretation of, if you have mildew on your clothes, bring it to the priest. But he doesn't do it. All right, Lord Illuminous Pooh. Hold on. All right, I'm gonna qualify this by saying I'm not on for this, but I'll read it from Lord Illuminous Pooh. He says, with respect, which is like Witsit saying, nobody's worthy, humbly. Anyway, he says, with respect, I believe Jesus was homosexual. Come on, he hung out with 12 sailors. Okay, fishermen. We're going to a fancy dinner. No girls allowed. Okay. I get the humor. They weren't all fishermen, and I don't know if the no girls allowed part is correct. It just doesn't. It's silent on whether or not it's the dinner, but the Passover meal before he was taken by to be crucified. We don't know if there were women there or not. It just says the 12 disciples were there. There could have been a whole bunch of people there, a whole party. So, but I get the joke. Okay. CB McCullough says he's grifting the weak for his gain. Ooh. That is the worst form of human. It's someone's family that gets caught up. Thank you for the way you did this. Well, thanks. I thought a lot about how to approach this. I hope I did it in a good way. I have zero respect for his position on Flat Earth. I don't like how he has structured what he's doing. Right, he has put himself up as an absolute, authority. Right, and if you watched the live chat, when I listed off the different people who disagree with him, he's like, there was somebody in the live chat saying appeal to authority over and over and over. Like, no, that was a list of examples of people that disagree with him. Right, I wasn't saying that they were right either. My point is, he's not right just because he says he's right. It's his position, and other people disagree with it. If everybody was unanimous, I don't believe for 1 second that his claim about unanimous in the beginning of that debate was true at all. People are not unanimous. People are. Can you find 3 people that are unanimous in the meaning of the word level? So, all right. Did you try restart? Says, well done, Michael, for pushing back on Sean's BS personal interpretation of the Bible. Sean has all the telltale signs of a religious cult leader. Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't develop any more charisma and then get everybody to move to South America and give them Kool-Aid. Lord Illuminous Pooh. I trailed off there, didn't I? Lord Illuminous Pooh says the Christian right want to illegalize IVF. Basically, children without sex. Tell me again how Jesus showed up. IVF. Oh, in vitro fertilization? They want to illegalize it. I've not seen that. I've not seen that position, but I suppose I could see people being against it. Look, why is that a problem? Lord Illuminous Pooh says sorry too, and I respect your beliefs, but I don't share them. Oh, yeah, totally fine. Totally fine. So from my side, it's easy to poke holes. No offense. Hey, if God is God, he's okay. He's bigger than that. He's not hurt by it. Right? Read what the Apostle Paul wrote about his own faith. He was like me in this. I'm trying to have that. Like, if it's not correct, sucks for me, right? he wasn't like, yeah, anyway, he was being honest in his self-evaluation of it. So, Green Bull says David Saint Jacques is a Christian who spent 204 days on the ISS, making him one of the few people who has seen the whole of Lake Titicaca 3,200 plus times. A great point, Cretan Bull. Not a lot of people have had an opportunity to orbit over Lake Titicaca that many times. Oh my gosh. That's great. I mean, if he's going to accept testimony. Earthly Skeptic says, how do Flurfs explain that a high-flying airplane points downward when it's moving away from me? Airplanes seldom point downward, even when landing. Well, the actual answer is perspective, and flat earthers, well, they'll say a bunch of stuff. They never actually understand perspective, do they? All right. Lord Luminous Pooh says, how long did Cain deal with his brother? As long as he was able. I'll see myself out. Yes, Lord Luminous Pooh. Oh my gosh. All right. Here's the thing. There's a band I really like. An 80s, 90s metal band, Christian metal band called Bride. Go listen to Snakes in the Playground. If you like metal, good stuff. But then the singer for that band produced an album for a band called Killed by Cain. Go listen to that. It's terrible. And yeah, it's like, hey, oh, this milk is bad. Smell it. Yes. That band is bad. Go listen to it. Killed by Cain. Lord Illuminous Pooh says, if God is real, he obviously has a sense of humor. Look at all the platypus and look at the platypus, the giraffe, and myself. I've not had a chance to look at you yet, Lord Illuminous Pooh. So, King's X is good. Yes. Striper. All right. Paul says, if you like metal, seek help. Paul. We got one God is nowhere, or one God is now here, says Glover Mom. Personhood is established at conception. There you go. Tenebrous Sint says, have you heard of Avantasia? I think I have. Is that I think I have. Yes. Ooh, Blackburn Big Dragon says, I've been an industrial music guy since the 80s. I was just listening to Circle of Dust today. Good industrial music. Cell Dweller too, that same guy. Okay. Sava says, Jaren is going to have someone tomorrow who claims to have a working flat earth model that explains the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. He's looking to weasel out of what he said. So I don't need these anymore. I saw that maybe Jaren is going to have Lindsay, the carpenter from New Zealand, whose channel is the Tomb of Illumination. And yeah, Lindsay does claim to have a whole bunch of answers, right? Contrary to many other flat earthers, he claims lots of answers. And basically he has a whole bunch of hypotheses, right? That's the thing to do. Now, has he actually confirmed them? Well, of course not. And he thinks that he knows that he's right? If you watch his videos, it's crazy. I was going to do a Nutcase Chronicle on that particular video of him doing the Antarctica sun on Thursday, tomorrow. But I chose a different one. And there it is. I made it public right now. So if you want, you can go look and you can see what I will be covering. I think you're going to love it. So I will definitely cover that, maybe a different time, of the Tomb of Illumination, talking talking about the sun in Antarctica. It won't come as a surprise to you to discover that he's totally nuts. And anybody that thinks that he is onto something is even more nuts. So, Nerd Pedantic Alert says Platypus, Giraffe, and Lord Plu walk into a bar. We need the rest of that joke. Tag me with that one. Oh, geez. Lord Illuminous Pooh says in David Attenborough voice. I cannot do a David Attenborough voice. Here we have the Illuminous Pooh, one of the gods' greatest mistakes. The existence of just a creature proves he may not exist. And Pooh was sad that there's 7 likes on that. So I don't know. If you like it, go ahead, give it another like, just for Pooh's sake. For Pooh's sake. Battle Against Misinformation says I constantly argue with my wife about taking everything in the Bible literally. She denies reality and only leans on faith. Also, I'm a Christian. A lot of people do that. Obviously I don't. Right? I've never been like that. I've never thought that was a way to be. That everything, I knew somebody in college, this girl in college, everything was hyper spiritual. She was very strange. She's like, I lost my keys. Can you come over and pray that I find my keys? I'm like, oh. So I go over and help her look for them. Find them in the door. They were stuck in the door. Like, oh, it wasn't God. Sorry, they were just in the door. It's my take on it. Larry Scott says, missed it live. I just watched the denial of biblical proportions looks like and archaic definitions. Flat Earth at its finest. Yes. All right. Well, I don't know. That was an interesting one. Put in the comments if you have a take on how I did that. A take on did I do it how you thought? Should I have pressed harder? Should I have not been as aggressive as I was? I knew he was going to boot me, so I turned it up to 11. So anyway, that's what I got. Remember, a week from tonight is the meetup. If you're interested in coming to a meetup in St. Louis Park, Minnesota, July 3rd, 6 p.m., Dancing Ganesha. I did it on both my Conspiracy Tunes and MC Tune Live community posts. If you need the address, you can find it there. I'll also probably post on Facebook. I don't know. I don't want the wackos, right? Because there's some wackos on Facebook. Holy crap. You go to my posts on Facebook, there's wackos in there. Totally insane. This lady, she is nuts. She is evil nuts, like criminally insane nuts. She has multiple sock accounts that it looks like she's purchased hacked accounts because there's no context. And then she just starts talking. It's the same. You can tell it's her because it's the same nonsense. All right. Kango44 says Nathan Oakley, Whitsitt, and Flatsoid walk into a bar. The barman runs outside and locks the door and sets fire out to the bar. No, that's naughty. But as a thought experiment, interesting idea. Okay. Okay, that's what I got. Everybody, I hope, also I did release a video this morning on Conspiracy Tunes. I hope you watched it. If you haven't, go watch it now. If you have, go watch it again and share it around. I put a lot of work into that one. I hope you enjoy it. We'll see you later. Here we go.
MC Tune, drop that beat.
All right, let it flow. Let yourself go. So I know that is the tempo.
So, yeah, let's do this. So
let's do this. Yo, it's MC Tune, the debunking tycoon. I shatter flat earthers, make them face the moon. Your attempts are decent, but they'll swoon in the face of my logic like a deflated balloon.
Oh, MC Tune, the one to soon cartoons. I'm the real sage, sending flirts to their views. Your theories are like old brooms, sweeping ignorance or just spreading the views.
FDFP stands for fumbling the facts, evidently. I drop truth bombs so splendidly. Your approach is soft, mine's unrelenting. I bring the science one, you're just venting.
Don't be tuned to food with silver spoons. I got the pseudoscience, make them change their tune. You're the sidekick, I'm the room. When it comes to debunking, I'm the room.
In the rizzle dizzle. But hey, FTFE, we share the creed to educate and debunk, plant the seed. Though in this rap, it's clear indeed I got the upper hand, then word indeed. Alright, hold on a second. The Zoom call died. Everything died! No!